Welcome to I Was Just Overthinking, a weekly podcast where Z overthinks out loud about health, lifestyle, career, friendships, people, and everything in between. This is probably not the answer everyone wants to hear, but I think emotional intelligence can be coded. Curious to find out if I can ask ChatGPT to write a whole script for a podcast episode. Being curious about things is the day the human actually dies in us. Today's episode is going to be slightly different. We are going to focus on one of the AI tools that has been gaining a lot of clout lately, and it is called ChatGPT. I am going to be going through a whole query today on the episode with you, and we'll see how it works because I've never used it before. This is a really cool experience to me, and I hope you guys find it interesting. Basically what I've done is I just had to Google ChatGPT. It opened up a website. I quickly signed up. It asked me a couple of basic questions whilst I was signing up. And now we are on the main page. It just says ChatGPT on it. This is going to be a ChatGPT ASMR. I don't know if you can hear me typing, but let's see. Got any ideas for a day out in London? Okay. See, I haven't pressed on send yet, but the way that I'm phrasing this sentence is pretty vague. So I didn't say who I am, I didn't say what is my age, I didn't say my gender, I didn't say any of the things that might help ChatGPT form a good plan for me. But let's start off easy. Got any ideas for a day out in London? Okay, so after I want to say 15 seconds, here is what ChatGPT generated as an answer. Yes, there are plenty of things to do and see in London. Here are some ideas for a fun day out. Visit the British Museum. This museum has a vast collection of artifacts from all around the world, including the Rosetta Stone Egyptian mummies. Number 2, explore the Tower of London, a historic castle that has served as a royal palace, a prison, and a fortress. You can see the crown jewels and take a guided tour to learn about the tower's rich history. Number 3, take a ride on the London Eye. This giant Ferris wheel offers stunning views of the city from a height of 135 meters. Number 4, visit the Tate Modern. See, this is the first thing I've actually never been to. This contemporary art museum features works by famous artists such as Picasso, Warhol, and Matisse. Number 5, take a stroll through Hyde Park, one of the largest parks in London with plenty of walking paths, gardens, and a lake. That's a good one. I love Hyde Park. It is actually massive. I have actually really fond memories of walking around Hyde Park with my mom back in 2015, I want to say. Number 6, go shopping on Oxford Street. I mean, come on. One of the busiest shopping streets in London with a wide range of stores to choose from. That's true, although it's super busy, you guys. Number 7, visit the Houses of Parliament, take a tour of the Palace of Westminster, and learn about the history of British politics. I studied British politics. It might be more fun when you are going into the House of Parliament. Number 8, watch a show in the West End. London's theatre district has a variety of shows to choose from, including musicals, plays, and comedy acts. Number 9, take a boat ride on the River Thames. A great way to see the city from a different perspective. And number 10, visit the National Gallery. This art museum houses a collection of over 2,300 paintings, including works by Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, and Rembrandt. These are just a few ideas, but there are plenty of other things to do in London, depending on your interests and preferences. Wow, ChatGPT really came through. I mean, it's a pretty good answer for someone who has never been to London and wants to kind of explore it, understand like what the city is about, see all the popular places. It's a good example of what AI tools can be great for and what they're not so good for. Let's try and phrase the question slightly differently and make it a little bit more specific. So, for instance, this list is not very interesting to me because I've been to actually 99% of these things. And they are very touristy things. It's not something that someone who's been to London many times would enjoy doing. So let's try and throw down what we're trying to ask and see what it says. I'm going to say, that's great. Another ASMR for iPhone typing. Don't know if anyone is into that, but you're getting it. That's great. But I've been to London a lot of times. Any ideas for something less touristy to do in London? Okay, let's see what it does now. Okay. ChatGPT responded with the following. Sure, here are some ideas for less touristy things to do in London. I love the phrasing of this. It's really cool. So number 1, visit the Columbia Road Flower Market. This vibrant market takes place on Sunday mornings and offers a wide selection of flowers, plants, and gardening accessories. I think this is the flower market that I've seen on TikTok or in Instagram. It's been a very popular thing. I think that TikTok video I'm talking about, maybe you know which one I'm talking about. This is where this girl made all of her friends wake up super early on a Sunday morning and took them to a flower market. I mean, it looked gorgeous, but I don't really think I would just want to randomly go to a flower market on a Sunday morning. Sounds very romantic, but yeah, no, I don't think I would want to do that, ChatGPT. Number 2, take a street art tour. London has a thriving street art scene with many hidden gems to discover. You can either explore on your own or take a guided tour. See, I think that one is a little bit vague. This could have been a bit more specific. Take a street art tour. Where? You know, not very useful. Number 3, visit a rooftop bar. There are several rooftop bars in London that offer great views of the city. Some of the popular ones include the Sky Garden. I've been to Sky Garden. The Queen of Hoxton. Ooh, I think Queen of Hoxton is something I've been wanting to go to. Interesting. And the rooftop at Trafalgar St. James. Not heard of the last one, but Sky Garden, I've been there. Anyone who's been there, I don't know if you guys actually liked it. It's a very busy place, but yeah, I didn't really like it. It was, I mean, they were going for a sort of greenhouse plus a bar plus views type of vibe. And yeah, it didn't really click with me. There were far too many people in there. It's just too expensive and not worth the actual experience. Number 4, explore the food scene. London has a diverse and exciting food scene with many hidden gems to discover. You can check out local food markets such as Borough Market or Maltby Street Market, or try some of the city's lesser known eateries. Now, if anyone is interested in this, actually, my favorite market is like Borough Market. I've never been to Maltby Street Market. Don't know if I'm even pronouncing that one correctly. I love Spitalfields Market. It's really awesome. I love it because it's not just food in there. There is like a bunch of little local indie shops and they sell a bunch of things starting from, I don't know, keychains ending with some cool luxurious looking clothes. I don't know. there's a range there, but I really love the Spitalfield markets. That's not bad. I think it's a good suggestion, but not particularly useful to me. Number 5, take a walk along Regent's Canal. This peaceful waterway runs through the heart of London and offers scenic views of the city. Number 6, visit the Horniman. I really hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Horniman Museum. This museum in South London features collections of natural history and musical instruments, as well as an aquarium and a beautiful garden. See, that's the first time I've heard of that museum. Maybe I should check it out. It sounds really cool. 7, take a trip to Hampstead Heath. By the way, I'm so sorry if I am pronouncing any of these wrong, no idea, but this is apparently a large park in North London which offers stunning views of the city, as well as several swimming ponds and a wildlife reserve. I'm not gonna lie, I think I've been there, but this is definitely another good shout. The last one is explore the back streets of Soho. Soho is known for its lively nightlife, but it also has many quiet back streets to explore. You can discover hidden cafes, boutiques, and galleries. FYI, if you are chilling out in London, I think that's the best thing to do. I have been to that area. It's pretty nice, and I think that's the main thing about exploring these big metropolitan cities. These are just a few ideas, but there are plenty of other off the beaten path. Off the beaten path. ChatGPT, you're very smart. That's exactly what I was going for. Off the beaten path things to do in London. Wow, okay, well, I'm very impressed. This is really cool stuff. I think this is exactly why ChatGPT could be useful for things that do take up a lot of time, but they really shouldn't. There is no use in me spending the entire day trying to look for places that are good, look for the reviews, it's just so boring. And I'm pretty sure you can write a quick query in ChatGPT in a way that it is more narrowed down, more customized to your needs. And I think that's incredible. I think it's extremely useful. It saves a lot of time and it can be very helpful in a lot of situations. Now we're going to try a slightly different query. I am curious to find out if I can ask ChatGPT to write a whole script for a podcast episode. I don't know what's going to happen, but let's jump straight into it. But there is one catch. We are going to use the topic of the last week's episode and see what ChatGPT is going to tell us. I am a podcast host. Can you write an episode script about what makes a man desirable? Well, I think it took like 30 seconds or so. The response starts with opening music and introduction. We love that. This is very helpful. Imagine if someone is just starting out a podcast and they're like, oh, I don't know how to start it off. This could be helpful. And then it goes into saying, hello and welcome to another episode of our podcast. Today we are going to discuss an intriguing topic that has puzzled humans for generations. What makes a man desirable? Whether it's about relationships, dating, or even marriage, people often wonder what qualities they should look for in a partner. So let's dive deep and explore what makes a man desirable. Oh my goodness, that intro was much better than my intro, that's for sure. Wow, that's crazy. Then it says transition music, love that. And then it goes into saying, let's start by understanding what the term desirable means. Desirable refers to something that is worth having or possessing, something that is attractive or appealing. When it comes to men, what qualities do women find desirable? Research has shown that women find certain traits in men more attractive than others. Interesting. The first trait that women find desirable in men is confidence. Confidence is the belief in oneself and one's abilities. Women find confident men more attractive because they are perceived as strong and capable. Men who are confident in themselves are also perceived as being more successful, which can be a desirable quality. You know what? I might have to make my episodes just chatting about what ChatGPT thinks of the things that I'm talking about. You know what? It is true. Confidence is good, but to an extent. One thing ChatGPT doesn't have is obviously emotional intelligence. I would say for myself, confidence is a great trait. Someone can be confident, but if they don't have any good values, if they don't bring anything to the table, they wouldn't really be desirable. So I would say confidence as a standalone is not a quality that women look for in particular. They would probably entertain it, but I think confidence always has to be coupled with other important qualities that we did speak about in episode 5. ChatGPT then goes on to saying, another trait that women find desirable in men is a good sense of humor. A man who can make a woman laugh is seen as more attractive than one who cannot. Women are naturally drawn to men who can make them happy, and laughter is one of the most powerful tools in achieving this. I love this. This is a really cute answer. I would say sense of humor is important to a degree. I would say it's important to how a person makes you feel. I mean, if someone is very, up there, ass all the time, it's not really nice to be around that. Having a good sense of humor is nice. So yeah, I wouldn't disagree with this one, ChatGPT. The third trait that women find desirable in men is intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Women are attracted to men who are knowledgeable, insightful, and can hold stimulating conversations. Intelligence is a sign of mental strength and resilience, which is a desirable quality in a partner. Of course, 100% agree to this. I think intelligence definitely is important and would make a man desirable. Women always look for men who either match their intelligence or are superior in their intelligence. The fourth trait that women find desirable in men is emotional stability. Emotional stability is the ability to regulate one's emotions and maintain a calm and collected demeanor. Women are attracted to men who are emotionally stable because they are perceived as being mature and responsible. Emotional stability is also a sign of mental and emotional strength, which can be a desirable quality in a partner. This is the first, I think, match from the qualities that I mentioned in the episode that makes a man desirable. So yes, 100%. The final trait that women find desirable in men is kindness. Kindness is the act of being considerate, compassionate, and empathetic towards others. Women are attracted to men who are kind because they are perceived as being caring and nurturing. Kindness is a desirable quality in a partner because it fosters emotional intimacy and connection. Kindness does really set you apart from everyone in the crowd, so I wouldn't disagree with this one either. GPT then goes on to saying, to sum it up, confidence, a good sense of humor, intelligence, emotional stability, and kindness are the 5 most desirable traits in men, according to research. However, it's important to note that these traits can vary depending on personal preferences and cultural values. While these traits are desirable, they are not the only qualities that make a man a good partner. A successful relationship requires a combination of traits that complement each other. Well, I think that's a very well put sentence. I would agree with that. In conclusion, understanding what makes a man desirable is not rocket science. It's about being confident, having a good sense of humor, being intelligent, emotionally stable, and kind. While these traits are essential, they're not the only qualities that matter. Finding the right partner requires compatibility, shared values, and mutual respect. Remember, being desirable is not just about having certain qualities, but also about being a good listener, communicator, and friend. That's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, goodbye. Wow. That was impressive. Using ChatGPT or any other AI tool for doing things that are creative or for things that include more than just research, I think obviously it's not going to work, because AI tool cannot hold an opinion. It can hold an opinion to an extent, based on some sort of research, based on some sort of context you give it. But I do not think GPT can, or any AI tool for that matter, can almost compensate for a human being's thoughts, opinions, articulation, personal experience, and so on, because what an AI tool will never have is obviously human experience in real world, right? It can only read about it, or it can only collect data about it, right? That was a great example. I really enjoyed doing that. I went on Instagram and I wanted to see what people thought about ChatGPT. And we have some great responses. The first one is from Lewis Coles 98. He says teachers are going mental for ChatGPT, using it to plan their lessons for them, and it's a robot takeover soon. Roxana.xo goes the best, all caps. Just Jordan with double N at the end goes it's useful as hell. It will dumb down people though. Check the Google one. Okay, I should check out more AI tools. Good one. Shannon_F97 says going to put me out of a job. Oof, a scary one, I guess. Matthews Films HD says it makes my work life 10 times easier. And see, I think if it does make someone's life easier, that's good, but I don't think it's always good. But a little bit on that later. Safe_Udin_Khan goes, it's ace, mate. I mean, it's good to hear people are finding it interesting, that people are finding it useful. I am hearing that a lot of people are using it as part of their jobs. It's making their research much easier, which is always good to hear. Apparently a lot of kids and students in uni and schools, they started using these AI tools to write the whole essays for them. Imagine if a student is not writing an essay, they're not doing any of the research, they're not reading about it, and they're just having to write a query in some AI tool that doesn't cost them anything, and it just spits out this beautiful essay that is not traceable. There's ways where you can escape plagiarism, even though to my knowledge there are tools that universities and schools use to prevent plagiarism. I'm pretty sure you can narrow it down. You can specifically tell the tool to spit out an essay that wouldn't be traceable. Basically, there wouldn't be a way that the tool can recognize that it's plagiarized. See, I don't think that's the best thing. Times when I was in uni and there was an opportunity for me to use some sort of AI tool to write my essay, I would not do that. I would use the tool to maybe do extensive research, because as you know, most of your uni degree does contain a lot of research, a lot of your time just being spent on finding these books, these articles, trying to access them, and that's a whole another pain you have to go through. If a tool can make your life easier and put all of this research in a nice, concise way, I would definitely take it. The way that you learn shouldn't be this robotic. I think most of my ideas, be it for my dissertation, be it for something else I wanted to do in my life, it didn't have to do with my uni or with my uni degree, my essays, etc. But a lot of the times when I would be doing research and reading these books and reading these articles, that would be the time where I would get these amazing ideas. I would get ideas about my dissertation. I would get ideas about what I wanted to ask my teachers, my professors about. It just does not stop your creative thinking. It does not stop your critical mind. Always try to be critical about it. And I think that's the part that AI tools don't really give you, because your critical thinking cannot be replicated. Critical thinking is what made people invent things, is what made people think outside the box. I don't think an AI tool can really add your personality, add your individual experience, your very individual view and perspectives on the world that only you can experience and only you can see. I don't think any AI tool can replicate that. Obviously they cannot. Maybe in the future hopefully that's not the case in the future, but at the moment it cannot replicate it. And I think that's where AI tools shouldn't really be used. If I would have a say in this, I would definitely say that yes, use AI tools where there are things that you have to do that are super repetitive. Like if there are things like filling out a template every time as part of your job or as part of your internship or whatever it is, right, that you do, if there is some sort of repetitive task, if you can't automate it, definitely use an AI tool for it or use machine learning for it, whatever it is, right? If there is a repetitive thing that you can just not spend your time or waste your time on, definitely use an AI tool. I think that's why it's there. I don't think it can ever replicate critical thinking. It cannot ever solve problems or see problems in the way that human beings see problems. So I would say the surge of these AI tools for quite some time now has made a lot of people's lives easier, evidently, but use it with a caution. I would say use it to a degree where it doesn't make you a robot, because the day where we stop thinking critically, the day where we stop analyzing things ourselves and reading things and being curious about things is the day the human actually dies in us. So I hope you can carry that message and be careful with AI tools. We are now in the Q&A segment of this episode. Follow cpod.cast on Instagram to submit your questions every week. We have a question that came in from 12 Ushan. And he says, can AI be emotionally intelligent to any degree? If not, is it safe to be influenced by it? This is an awesome question. I've thought about this question for quite some time. And the first thing that came to my mind is, what is emotional intelligence? I always pride myself in being an emotionally intelligent person. I always pride myself in being able to correctly feel people's moods and sense the energy of the room, of people. And, I'm quite an observant person, so I always pride myself in being an emotionally intelligent person. And when this question was submitted, I started thinking to myself, what really makes me emotionally intelligent? Can an AI tool replicate it? An example of a friend being upset about something, and you're trying to be a good friend and you're trying to be there for them. What you practically, realistically do is you give some sort of advice to the person, you give some sort of sense of comfort to this person, and you try to communicate with this person and you just try to make them feel better. This is probably not the answer everyone wants to hear, but I think emotional intelligence can be coded in a sense. You can use machine learning, make the tool learn how to correctly respond to different situations, how to correctly react to certain situations, but obviously we're talking about an AI tool. And let's say hypothetically, it's very similar to ChatGPT. So for instance, someone is going through something, they write it in the ChatGPT as a query, and they're looking for some sort of emotional support from this machine. The tool can say things that replicate emotional intelligence. It can say things like, hang in there, or give some sort of advice. I think we can go as far as that. But I don't think it can ever give the true comfort a human being's presence can give. It cannot hug you, cannot do anything like that, right? Because essentially, no matter how many nice words this AI tool will spit out, those nice words should come from someone that you care about as well. Because whenever people are struggling, whenever people are going through something, they do not go to someone who they don't care about. They go to someone they actually care about, because that's the only person they want to talk to about the situation. They look for that affirmation, they look for that warmth from that person who they genuinely like or love. They want their comforting words, their warmth in this situation. They don't care if they actually receive some sort of affirmative words or words of comfort. It just matters who it comes from. It doesn't matter what the person actually says. And sometimes being emotionally intelligent, or being a human being, I guess, being a person, it's not always about saying the right things. It could be just about a look. It could be about just your presence. It could be about just sitting in the room silently and just being there. And of course, an AI tool can never, ever substitute that. And that is a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for joining Z. If you enjoyed it, share the episode with someone who you think would like it too. And follow me for more on Instagram at zpod.cast. Until next time, don't overthink too much and take it easy.